Well, I suppose I'll just have to talk. Hold on a sec. All right. I hope the sound is okay. Let me just check a couple of things. Ding, 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 ding. Hello. Now, is the sound any better? Diane is getting hypnotized by the graphic. I know it goes around a little bit, yeah. See, I was going to do this because Colin is far more handsome than me. He's also a much better fiddle player. Yeah, sorry, I was playing Spotify on my laptop through my microphone because I couldn't find any way to stream it through it directly. So there you go. Now, oh, the echo was on. Yes. Sorry about that. Woohoo. Well, here we are. I'll turn off Colin because you'll be seeing him in a minute. All right, how we doing? Sound is better and so is the picture. Well, there you go. Hope everybody is doing well. We're in Galway. I'm still in Galway. I'm going to be in Galway for quite some time. Lots of rain. Well, not so much rain. We had an amazing thunderstorm during the week. Reminded me of being a little bit of being in America. It was one of those big dark clouds and huge amounts of rain. We don't normally get massive amounts of thunderstorms in Ireland, but there you go. There's Rose Oakley. Rose and Gordon. Oh wow, hey Rose. I used to play music for a dancing school in Birmingham. Rose was the teacher. I haven't seen Rose in the longest time. Good to see you. Philip is saying there's still an echo, so I don't know if anyone else can hear. I know what the problem is. My apologies. That should be much better now. How are we getting on there, Stephen? Or I mean, Stephen? Philip, is the echo gone? There was too many things going on at the same time. Hey, Laurie. And there's Bonnie. Laurie isn't getting an echo, so that's good. There we go. Anyway, so I've got an interview with Colin Farrell, the wonderful fiddle player, in a little bit. But I'm going to play some banjo for a change. So I've kind of a bit of a shorter schedule this week. Maybe Colin and myself had a lovely chat, not as long as some of the ones I've done recently, like with Sierra and so on and so forth. But I have another couple of big interviews done, but I just haven't got to finish the edits really because it's they're quite long and involved, and I just didn't get to it this week as much as I'd like to. I needed some time out actually, so I decided to play banjo instead because what could possibly go wrong? So I brought my banjo, this one, which is my old. It's 20 years old. Would you believe? This is a Clareen Elite. It's 20 years old this year, and I brought it out to Finton in Clareen Banjos just to get it set up, and we he redid the neck because it was quite worn after 20 years of playing, polished up some of the frets and stuff. And when I was going, he asked me would I bring all of their banjos back to Galway and make some videos of all of the different range of banjos that they have. So I decided I would, and then I decided that this would be as good a forum as any to play them. So I have 5 Clareen banjos today. I'm going to play all 5 of them. Sorry, I'm ducking and diving. I had to write down some tunes, otherwise I wouldn't remember anything. And I have a terrible habit of playing the first half of one tune and then matching it with the second half of another tune. And yeah, so I'm gonna kick off with the. Let me just move this around so I can see what I'm at. Where'd that go? There we go. So this is a banjo. It's called the Clareen Bridge. Clareen Bridge is a little town beside Galway, which is very close to where Tom and Finton Cusson have their workshop at Clareen Banjos. So this banjo is €875. So it's kind of like one up from the beginner level. It has, for the banjo nerds, this bit's flat as opposed to arched, so it's a flat top. I'll play a tune on it. I was playing this a lot today, actually. I'm just going to move this a little bit. It's really easy to play. I'm not too sure whether you'd get tired of it after a while. I mean that in terms of playing sessions. For the volume that you would get from one of the other banjos, there's an awful lot more going on. But for sitting at home and playing, I played this for about an hour today, and it's gorgeous. So I hope the volume and all of that is okay. I spent a bit of time here just making sure that it's not going to clip out. Tom Purvis says that's the rights of man, and I would have said it's the Galway hornpipe. But there you go. So that's banjo number 1, Clareen Bridge. It is very nice. It's light. It's easy to play. A very good, like, for €875. I've found that banjos in Ireland are a lot less expensive than similar standards or similar quality banjos in the US. So what's next on the list? Yes, this is what used to be the very first banjo that Tom made. It's the Clarion Special. I can never figure out where the camera is. There you go, Clarion Special. So this is a lovely banjo. Lots of people will buy these and start out with them. I meant to do this because this would be a bit of fun, and because it's been kind of miserable in Ireland. This is just silly. There we are now. Makes it much more authentic, doesn't it? If I'm sitting in an Irish pub with a fire on in June. So now, yes, I know my voice has dropped a little bit, and I apologise for that. So, Clareen special. I'll have to adjust it up and down. I just don't want to blast out your ears when I start playing the banjo. This is what was Tom's kind of beginner level banjo. It's about what's about €1,475. I feel like I should be taking going once, going twice kind of thing. um, 20 years ago when I bought my Elite, this I think these were coming in at around eight or €900, so or maybe even less, but that'll just inflation and everything that goes along with it. So this is a lot brighter, and hopefully you'll hear that. Laurie McKiernan has had her coffee today. That's all I gotta say. So there's much more brightness in this. Part of that is because it does have this arch top tone ring, which creates more brightness, and there's probably more going on inside the banjo as well. So I played the Galway hornpipe, and Galway is in the province of Connacht, so it makes total sense that I would play the Connacht Man's Rambles. So that's a jig called My Darling Asleep. So that's the Clarion special. I do really like that banjo as well. Very bright and very nice and very easy to play. So next, God, that looked really good, didn't it? It looks like I took the banjo from behind the chair in the pub. wonder if anyone tuned in late thinks am I actually in a pub, because I think that'd be hilarious. Welcome to my life, tuning. So this is quite a different sound. This is the Clareen Pearl. I should really... oh, I see that. I don't really know the technical differences between all of this. I'm assuming that, I mean, this is a good bit heavier than the Clarion Special, and a lot heavier than the first one, the Clarion Bridge. See, I knew I'd get somebody. Melinda, it's not even real. What is real these days? I have fire on my chest. I see that, yeah. I mean, I wouldn't say it's fake, Eileen. I mean, I'm here. It's also not even a fake fire. It's a green screen. So that is the Clarion Pearl, and funnily enough, it's not one that I've played before. The Pearl, even though it's been around for years and years and years. Yes, Kelly, I am real. There was one very funny comment earlier, and I can't find it. Oh yeah, Charlie Brown. Does all this tech have to do with Banjoland? What's Banjoland? Amy Strong officially pulls out her hair right now. All I can say right now is that Banjoland is coming. And it will be in very early July. So we're getting up to the heavyweights now, in every sense. This is the Clareen Oyster. Oops. You can see that they were running on a theme here. So we have the Pearl and the Oyster. Now this is a really nice banjo. There's a lot of weight in it. A new development from Finton is this part of the banjo here is called the flange. And essentially it's decoration in a lot of sense. It probably does have a little bit to do with projecting the tone in a particular way, and also creating some of the brightness of the tone. I'm just going to jump in here for a second and go, yes, Amy, we're going to tease you until at least the 1st of July with Banjoland. But it is coming, I promise. Anyway, the flange here is now alloy, where it used to be fully metal and was very, very heavy. And so this is a lovely banjo. Yes, there is a gorgeous inlay on this of an Irish salmon. That's an inlay I must. I was going to say steel, but that sounds wrong, even though it's perfectly accurate. No, Tina, it's totally. I built a pub. I had nothing to do over the last couple of weeks, so I just went and built a pub in my house, even though I don't drink, and I put a fire in it for no reason. Now, what'll I play? So this is the Clareen oyster. Rude. So that might be a new A string on that. That's a little bit bendy. But that one is the Clareen oyster. That's getting up in the money. That's 2,775. Going once, going twice. That does have a really great sound. Yes, it does have a great sound. That's what Laurie said, and you can hear the difference. And I hope that's coming across on. I hope that's coming across on the microphone as well. Terry wants an order of fish and chips. Well, finally, I got to go. No, that's not that. I got to go fishing. I got to go fishing on Saturday. So there's a very famous salmon fishery in Galway City. It's right in the middle of the city, beside the cathedral. And anyone that has been to Galway City will have seen the cathedral, hopefully, and looked in over the bridge at the river, and that you can fly fish there. And Mark O'Meara has fly fish there, and Tiger Woods. So it's a very famous fishery. So I got to fish there on Saturday and had a fantastic day. Anyone that's interested in fly fishing, I got 7 salmon. I was allowed to bring home 2, so I brought home an 8-pounder, which is a spring salmon. So he was a couple of weeks in the river, and a 4.5-pound, which we duly ate that evening, and it was delicious. I don't know why I was talking about fishing. There you go. Yeah, so this is the Elite. This, I believe, is number 9 of the Elite range, as in the 9th one that was ever made. And I got this 20 years ago, in the year 2000, back when I was 9. Tips on preparing salmon. Okay, so wild Atlantic salmon, lots of butter, lots of lemon, lots of salt, a bit of garlic. Throw it into the oven for 25 minutes. That's delicious. Yeah, I mean, don't get me started. I could literally talk about fishing all day. David Howley. David says, explain your banjo coat hooks. They're gone. Oh no, they're still there. Damn it. I thought it was gone. I put this bit back on. That's a bit of strip of Velcro for when we used to use the kind of pillow thing to get the banjo angle right. And that just clipped on at the back. I think I've explained my coat hooks before, but this here is a coat hook from a hardware store. And back when I used to play banjo and mandolin and another type of banjo and someone else's banjo, and I was switching instruments the whole time, in order to do it quickly, I came up with a great system of a strap that would just hook on with 2 rubber hooks, essentially. And so in order to attach it to the banjo for quick release, I got a picture hook that you would use on your wall, and I tied it onto my banjo with cable ties, like MacGyver. I don't know if I quite fit the picture of engineering genius, but close enough. Anyway, now this has quite old strings in it. This is my Elite. I will say I went out to Clareen Banjos, I think back in February when I was at home, briefly off tour, and they had an Elite that I played, and it was without a doubt the nicest banjo I've ever played from Clareen Banjos. And I toyed with the idea of buying it. I didn't need it, and now it's gone because I was really hoping to bring it out. Oh, DIY with Enda. That's a separate YouTube channel. It's also known as #DIY fails because I am awful. Well, I'm learning, getting a little bit better. I must have taken the lots of coffee today. How many years in total are you playing Enda, roughly? Well, I've been playing roughly all my life. I'm trying to get a little bit smoother. Sorry about that. I am playing banjo since I was 8 years old, which is now 34 years. No, that's not right. I can't even add. 36 years. And as I discussed last week with Sierra, if you're not good after 36 years, something wrong. So, all right. There can be a quick tune on this. This is my Elite. Was a nice note, wasn't it? So that's the Clarion Elite. They're 3,300, and when I bought mine, they were 1,000. Oh, maybe I got it at half price. I can't remember. Anyway, what I will say about it is that it's a heck of a banjo for that amount of money, and I know that from being in the Carter's vintage guitar shops of the world and what you can get for $3,500 in the US versus €3,500 here in Ireland. There's quite a lot more bang for your buck. So now this is the last one. This is the Clareen Setanta. This has got a lot of fancy fandangly stuff on it. So it's got a beautiful inlay. And then on this is the alloy flange that we were talking about, but that's also inlaid. But I really like the dark tones in it. And the black head is pretty cool as well. Everything is kind of blingy on this, but in an understated way. So this has a different tone. It's a little bit rounder than the rounder tone than the Elite and the Oyster. I've no idea what the name of that is because I'm useless with names. This is a very, very, very nice banjo to play. So things that I like in a banjo that make it nice to play. Number one is the action. So that's essentially how high the strings are from the neck. High action makes a lot of work for your left hand pressing down the notes. This is very low action. It's a very nice thin neck. It's narrow. It's not big and fat. And so the playing action with your left hand is very easy. And then that usually translates down into a nice level of tightness down here. So when you're picking, it's not very hard to do it. It's very, very smooth, kind of smooth picking action. Sometimes you come across banjos that you fight with. They're just really hard to play. This one is a lovely, lovely banjo. Very, very easy to play, and there's some lovely styling even on the back as well. That's a bird's eye maple. I could be corrected on that, but I'm pretty confident that's bird's eye maple. I'll show you my setanta that I have for a good few years. And you've probably seen it before. I think I've had it out before. It weighs an absolute ton. It's much, much heavier because it has a solid steel flange that's coated in gold. It's all gold. God. Funny somebody thought about the idea of making a toilet out of gold. That seems like a really good idea. So this is made from bird's eye, walnut burl, which is like, I hope that's coming across. It's absolutely gorgeous. Like it's beautiful, beautiful banjo. It's really heavy. I mean, and not to go over it again, this is the heavy part of it is this flange. It's thick and it's full of metal, whereas the new setantas. There's a good 5 or 6 pounds in differential weight because of that flange is made from an alloy, and it looks really cool in the dark. And this has a ton of inlay as well on the neck. It has that full Vine of Life inlay. But it's a really pretty banjo. And this is strung all weird kind of ways, and it has a what they call a Renaissance style head, so it's like a really heavy head. It needs some work on the strings, but this has much deeper tones again. So that's the setanta. So that's the Clareen range. They're absolutely beautiful banjos. Somebody asked earlier, what do I have? What do I bring on tour? I bring one banjo. You've all seen it before. Sounds very different. I'll take off the... It's such a long neck, I can't get my fingers into the shot. Somebody's requesting John Brown's, the hilarity being that I'm not 100% sure which tune that is. The idea behind this banjo is that it would sound both like an Irish tenor, but that I could also get the old-timey feel from it. That's my neck fill, and I only bring one banjo on the road at the moment because just the cost of flying stuff around and everything else. So that's the Clareen Banjo range. If you want any more information on that, do go to banjo.ie. Although there is currently a block on posting things in to the US from Ireland, anything of that size. But there you go. So now I'm going to leave the pub briefly, and I had a great chat with Colin Farrell a couple of weeks back, actually, and just getting it all together to come and bring it to you. So I hope that you enjoy this. It's not very long, but it's a nice chat with Colin. Great fiddler with Lunasa, has played with the Elders and various other outfits. Quite the journeyman, and one of the best sessions that I ever had was at the Flackhole in Listowel about 20 years ago with Colin. It was the first time I met him, and it was absolutely, I still remember it, dynamite tunes at unbelievable pace. So here's a chat with Colin. All right, I'm live in Galway with Colin Farrell. Colin is in Orlando, Florida, where I presume it's sunnier than it is here in Galway because it's raining right now.
It has been, but today's awful. It's raining as well.
I thought it didn't rain in Florida.
No, only because you were calling. It started coming out the skies. But it's been absolutely beautiful, yeah. But today, it's nice. I took the dogs for a walk earlier, and the last few days I've just been lying down every 2 minutes. So today, no bother.
What kind of dogs do you have?
We've got 4 of them. They're all rescues, so mixed. One of them's a pit, one of them's a pit mix, one of them's a coonhound, and the other's like a border collie mix.
Okay. What are their names?
Heidi, Sophie, Lily, and Franny.
I was sure one of them would have like an Irish musician's name, Joe Burke or something like that.
Oh yeah, we've got all females.
There you go. Josephine Marsh. No,
Yeah,
Josephine Burke.
I've got no say on the names of anything. I just named a few tunes after them, but no, yeah, all of them apart from Heidi. We got Heidi when she was very young, so she was originally called Tara, but Danielle changed her name to Heidi because she had long legs, so she reminded her of Heidi Klum, the model. So she's called Heidi now. We thought she was a beagle, but she never stopped growing when she was a puppy, so she's a coonhound.
So touring is all over for you right now.
Yeah, the last gig was on March the 12th for Lunacy, and then we were heading up towards New York, and then everything got pulled. So we were in Boston, so I booked a flight home, and then that's been it since.
But you're in a whole load of different bands. I mean, often we'll go to an Irish festival, and it's like Colin you're there. You were with the Elders for a while.
Yeah.
You're in the band with your brother Shane, who's a fantastic banjo player.
Yeah, and I play with a band down here now in Florida, Off Kilter. They'd be well known to anyone who ever did the Disney. Used to play at Epcot for a number of years, and then Ashley Davis's band.
Yeah,
and then anyone really. I can't say no. And I enjoy playing with different people and all that. So
yeah, Lunas has kind of been the mainstay for you for a good few years, though, hasn't it?
Yeah. Luckily, I mean, it's been brilliant. Like, so Sean, obviously Smith, the fiddle player, is a doctor in Ennis. So I've just been filling in for him in the States and Canada, and then he'll come back eventually. I think next year he might do the US tour in March.
Okay.
If he can get someone to fill in. So I've always known it's only temporary, but I mean, it's probably 9 or 10 years now I've been doing it.
Yeah, I run into Sean in Galway from time to time when there's a coffee shop that we both frequent when it's open, and he definitely misses the tour and misses Luna, so there's no doubt about that.
Yeah, he'll do it eventually. It's a shame we would have been going out together on Joni's cruise, the European cruise in October. We were both going to do it, but that's been pulled now. So.
And was it the Disney gigs that brought you to Florida?
Yeah. Peter Brown, Peter,
yeah.
Fox played in Dublin, got asked to put a band together for an Irish pub called Raglan Road in 2005. So we were only meant to come out for a few months. Myself, Shane McGowan, the guitar player from Sligo, and I had Johnny Norton, Johnny Snaggs in Dublin. So we came out, did that. And I actually we're still here. And that was October 2005. So I did that for a few years on and off while touring. And then when I was touring that much, I just let it go. And eventually I just enjoyed playing with different people and stuff. Funnily enough, I've not done it for a while.
Is that where you met your wife?
No, that's another. Just about a year before that, we were doing a tour in Holland called The Magical Rhythms of Ireland.
Sounds legit.
Yeah. It was so funny. So the first year, I mean, the songs on it were terrible. The music was great. It was wrote by the guy Brian Byrne. Do you know Brian?
No, I don't think so.
Brian's an amazing piano player and composer from what county is Slane? Where's Slane again? Slane.
Yeah, County Meath.
I think he's from County Meath. He's in Hollywood now, I think. Anyway, but he's been writing for Barbra Streisand and everyone for years now, and he writes. He's one of the top guys in America, but he's from Meath. But he got asked to put the show together. So the first year there was an amazing, really big budget. So they had like Guy Rickaby, an incredible drummer from Leeds, living in Ireland, Bill Shanley, Fraser Fifield, a harpist from the Artie Orchestra, myself somehow, I don't know how I got in there, and then there was a few others, but it was a huge band, amazing dancers, and it went well. The music was great, the songs weren't great. It was like the guy in Holland had bought a CD, 20 of the worst Irish songs ever recorded, and built a dance show around it. So, but it was good fun. So the year afterwards, we got asked back to do it, and as most dance shows go, you might know this, they start off with all good intentions with big money, and then they think, why are we paying all this money when we could be making let's half the cast, let's get a load of monkeys in, not, I shouldn't say monkeys because they were amazing musicians as well, but let's pay, let's cut it all down and cut the budget back. So we ended up, so that's what, when I met me, I shouldn't be saying that because they brought my wife the next year to dance. So I met her on that show in Holland, and there was some funny stories with that. I remember that year. Do you ever Dan O'Callaghan, the piper?
No.
He's from Cork, outside, is it Bohabui or Newmarket? Around there anyway, but lovely fella. Him and Mike Galvin, brilliant guitar player from Kerry. When we went back the following year, where we were staying, there was a burglary and the instruments got stolen. Like his pipes, Vermont pipes, and so it was they were devastated. Anyway, he didn't have any pipes for the first start of the show, so he borrowed these pipes from this Dutch guy, and they were so out of tune. Like it was so embarrassing for the show. Like, but he had nothing else to play. And then the first year they had Fraser Fifield playing the bagpipes. Sorry, this is going off on a tangent.
That's all right.
The next year they told Dan about a week before, all right, we haven't got a bagpiper, you're going to have to learn them. So he learned the bagpipes in like 4 or 5 days, but it was so bad. And the start of the second half was the bagpiper leading the dancers through the auditorium up onto the stage, and it turned into a comedy show. Like 5 minutes before he was meant to walk through, all you could hear was him trying to get the bag started, like, and then by the time he walked in, the audience were rolling in the aisles laughing. We were on stage crying like it turned into a joke. But anyway, I met my wife on that. Moved to Florida. She loved Disney. I was only going to go for a few months, and we were just dating at the time. So she said, go out, I'll come out and see you. And I came out, and they needed a dancer after a month or two. So I said, well, I'm seeing a dancer at the moment. So they invited her out. We came out October 2005, and she came out in February 2006. And she danced there for 9 years.
Wow.
And funnily enough, I finished there a few years ago. They've been bringing young people over from Ireland, great groups, But because of all this that's gone on, I'm going back playing there on June the 9th for a couple of months, maybe till August, September, till they arrange all the visas for all the kids to come back from Ireland.
And so how open is Disney going to be? Is it fully open?
Well, Florida's crazy. You would not believe Florida. If you went out and about, apart from a few people wearing masks, you wouldn't think there was anything going on.
Wow.
And that's been like that for a while. I went to the Springs last week. I thought there'd only be us there. There was thousands of people. It's like, what are we doing? It's mental.
Wow.
So the parks are still closed. There's no date set for them yet. But Disney Springs, with the old downtown Disney where the pub is and restaurants and all that, is reopening. So a lot of pubs and restaurants now are 50% capacity. From Monday or Tuesday, they're going to be 75% capacity. But it's honestly crazy. You wouldn't we'll go out today. I have to go to Lowe's to get a few things for the house afterwards. Yeah, there'd be people wearing masks and all that, but it'd be busy.
And what's the coverage like there then? I mean, what's the narrative like in Florida? Is it just everything's fine, go ahead?
Well, it depends what news you watch. Well, like every day, when it first started, you're watching the news every day. But I mean, I try and avoid obviously the areas that are crowded because it's crazy. It's gonna spike again. I imagine the way people are carrying on.
Wow.
So, but we'll see. But yeah.
Yeah. So back playing in Disney, and I guess back with Luna. So whenever they take off again.
Yeah, which is, I mean, God knows when. All the festivals have been pulled through summer. So I mean, yourself, Kansas City just got pulled there, didn't it? That was the one I was thinking might have stand a chance.
That's right.
But yeah, the gigs that got cancelled in March with Luna, so a lot of them got rescheduled for September, but I still can't see that going ahead.
Yeah. We're in the same boat. We're looking at October, but more than likely it'll be January, February. Yeah,
I had 2 bus tours going to Ireland. One with the Wild Atlantic music tours. Do you know the lads that run that?
No. So is that you and on your own, or
just me on my own? Yeah.
Oh, yeah?
Awful for anyone doing it.
Have you done it? No, there's a lot of people watching who will have been on the Wee Banjo 3 tours, and we bring them around Ireland.
Kevin Crawford did one last year and put my name forward. So, I mean, so we were going to. It's still not cancelled at the moment. If it does, they're going to postpone it till next year. Well, I think they're going to do one next year as well. See, it's funny. I ended up just before all this happened. I was on to Dave Curley. You know Dave well.
Yeah.
Your mum taught Dave, didn't she?
He did, yeah.
Yeah. So Dave's actually coming down to do the gig with me here in Disney in next month.
Okay.
Because
Yeah,
he's up in Chicago at the moment. So
I taught Dave banjo for about 2 weeks until he realised that he didn't need to learn anything from me.
he's some musician.
He's an amazing musician,
Yeah, top lad. So it's funny. I actually asked Dave if he'd like to come on the come on the bus tour with me in October. So that still might be happening. If it happens, I'm going to get Dave along because it's always nice to just to have for someone who can sing and back tunes as well for the sessions and stuff.
Yeah. We had one in April that's postponed, but it's booked for November. So I guess we'll see. Fingers crossed that'll go ahead.
Yeah. So most same people are doing it, are they?
Yeah. So tell us about your tune a day. I mean, I would be very familiar with the concept, given.
I know. Your brother Fergal started the whole thing. Really,
he's done it twice. He's done it twice, but yours is slightly different because you're writing all the tunes.
I'm writing a tune every day. Yeah, it was a stupid idea. But I was just touring in the van at Christmas with Luna, and I mentioned it like. And it's a great idea. And I said, I'm going to write a tune every day. And they were all laughing. They're like, what are you talking about? Do a tune a month or something. Write a tune a week or something. I was like, no, I'll do it. And they were all laughing. So that made me determined. I was like, no, I'll show you. And then it's funny, I nearly didn't do it because on New Year's Eve, we always go out for a big mad party here in Orlando. And I was sick as a dog on the 1st of January this year. Like so hungover, and I was like, oh, I don't know. If I don't start it, I don't have to carry it on. But anyway, I did it. So it's 145 days yesterday. So
are you running out of steam yet?
No, not too bad. It's funny because I wasn't sure. One of the main reasons for doing it is I've wrote a lot of tunes, and I don't know how many I've wrote. I've never kept any record of the tunes I've wrote apart from ones I've recorded. The ones I have recorded and named, I don't know which ones they are because I never play them. So I thought it's a good way to keep document my own tunes, and then and play them again because they'd never be played otherwise. And then so I worked out I probably had I wasn't sure if I had 100, I had 200. So I thought, well, I'll just do them at the start, and then when I run out of them, I'll start. But I've ended up just writing most of the tunes. So I try not to spend too much time on it because. One, my wife would kill me, and two, that was the thing. Is that I don't want to force a tune. If a tune's coming to you, it's going to come. I don't like sitting down and spending an hour or two on a tune. If it's going to I'll know in 5 or 10 minutes if I'm going to get a tune or not. If I'm not going to get it, I'll use one of what I've got already.
So do you have like 10 or 15 in the bag, and then try to write one every day? Yeah.
And if I've got time, If like on a Saturday, Sunday, if I've got a few hours, I'll sit down and I might write 4 or 5 or 6 tunes, or just ideas of tunes, and then I can look back at it. And that's why I've got so much paper around the room. I pick it up and it means nothing to me. I should make better notes. Like, what the hell is that?
Do you use the the voice recorder on your iPhone?
Yeah. So I've got that. That's full of junk rubbish, but it's handy. It's handy, yeah. Yeah. So like yesterday, I didn't have a tune, and I was just going to do one, and my G whistle was downstairs, and I picked it up, and I just started messing around, and I had a tune in like less than 5 minutes, which was nice. So that's good like that. And then I've got some usual. So I have to sometimes if I'm not sure, because with Irish music, like you don't know every tune. You could be writing a tune, but it's the exact same as something else, which is probably what I'm doing every day anyway. But you don't know, and because you've got tunes going, because I'm doing a tune a day as well, you've got tunes going around in your head. Like I know for a fact I've done this a couple of times. I've wrote basically the same tune, but in a different key. Like the first part of it, you know what I mean? It's funny. Michael Cool, do you know Michael? He's a brilliant flute player he's from Manchester originally. He's living down in Kerry now. He did the course in UL. It's funny, I actually played in a band with his dad. One of my first bands when I was 14 or 15, a band called Banshee. But that was good. That was an amazing experience. But he texted me one day. He said, I just saw your tune. He says, great. He says, I think you've wrote another one. He said, the week before or 2 weeks before, I think it's the same tune but in a different key. And I looked at it like, oh my God. But you don't know. And that's when that day I bought a diary because again, my record keeping of stuff is hopeless. So I bought a diary and wrote each name of the tune and the start of the tune. So at least, but again, I don't look at it.
What was Paddy Maloney famously said? That's a lovely tune. I think I'll write it.
Yeah. How many? Because that's what happens with a lot of chieftain stuff. If it's an old tune, they just put the chieftains down, don't they, for the
That's right.
recording?
Yeah. Oh, there's plenty of people doing that.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Well, yeah.
100%. They'd be as well doing it on my stuff. The amount of tunes probably I've not even submitted right to IMRO. I went on once to try and claim it all, and it's like, no, we can't do it. It's not registered right. I was like, okay.
Well, that's an absolute quagmire anyway. It's easier by a planet than it is to register stuff with.
Yeah, they don't make it
royalties.
easy.
No.
Yeah. So, but I mean, again, I could probably, I mean, a day or two sat at home doing it would do. So yeah, that's me next. I'll do that. My New Year's resolution, 2021.
Yeah, register them all. Will you play us a tune? Will you?
Yeah. One of my own or just a normal one?
Well, you choose. Yeah, whatever you fancy.
Let me try and do the one yesterday. It doesn't matter anyway because no one knows this tune. I can just make it way. Do you know what I struggle with is names of tunes. It's all right to write them. Then it's like, oh geez, now I need the name of a tune. So usually, like I'll write the tune and it's late and I'll have to put it up on Facebook or YouTube. So I'll just go on my phone and go on Google Maps and look in the area and get like the name of a road. Like 2 days ago, River Gem Road. That'll do, the River Gem. You know, so that's what I do. And then I was on a Zoom call to my friends every Saturday now, because they must be doing that a lot in England or Ireland. Friends are just getting together on Zoom and stuff. Friends I went to college with in Leeds, they're on Zoom doing a quiz every Saturday. And they wrote me into part of the quiz. I have to come up with popular pop songs or rock songs or movie themes and play them on the fiddle, and they have to guess it. This is part of the quiz now every week.
You should record that and put that on YouTube. That'd be awesome.
I know, like, again, my preparation's not very good. Like 5 minutes before the quiz, I'm going on YouTube, popular pop songs on violin, and I'm writing them down. And it could be the most obvious ones, and the guys are like, nah, don't know that. Don't think you're playing it right.
You're playing it in the wrong key, Carl.
Yeah. So anyway, they said I was on the call on, what day is it? Saturday, and one of the daughters must have been running around. They said there was on about the daughter was called Sophie, and they said Sophie's Slipper. I said, oh, that's a nice name for a tune. So that's what I called the tune yesterday. So I'm going to try it.
All right.
I'll do, and this is a whistle. So I've got loads of instruments thrown around, whistles or fiddles. So I'll try and do a different thing every now and again. So the G whistle was downstairs when I picked it up yesterday and tried to have a go at this. So again, I'll probably forget it, but let's go something like this anyway.
There you go. That's Colin Farrell. Very, very entertaining guy. Very funny. It's so funny about writing a tune and then wondering did you write it at all. And I hope Farrell doesn't mind me telling this story, but years and years ago, I wrote a tune that's on String Theory. It's on Island Orchard. It was called the Kalani Jig, and it's one of the few. I've only written a handful of tunes, and even rarer was that I would notate it. So I wrote it down in a book. And I dated it, which was even stranger. And we were both in a show in Galway. And so I would have been playing the tune a couple of times during the summer to kind of finalize it and whatever. And then years later, Fergal brought out one of his albums, I think maybe The Dusty Bridge, the first one. And the very last track has the jig on it with a different name. Fergal has it on. Yeah, this is one that I wrote. And I was like, pretty sure I wrote that tune. And he was like, no, I wrote it. And I said, well, here's the piece of paper with the date on it. And it was the maddest thing. And it was like, he just heard me playing it. And then he went and he wrote a tune. And it turns out that it was already written. And I'm sure that happens on a regular basis, you know. But he's gone on to write some incredible tunes since. So thanks everybody for being here today. Iowa Irish Fest is still on. There you go. Last week of July. Wow. Yeah, there's a lot of change happening. I know that we're definitely not out this summer. Everything that we had has been is cancelled for now, but we do have lots of exciting things coming. None more so than Banjoland. What is Banjoland? Only Dave knows, but Dave may not tell you. You'll have to ask him, and he still mightn't tell you. But we'll let you all know. We'll let you all know very soon in a couple of weeks. Many of you know Amy, who is just a fantastic person and a great fan of the band and a huge supporter of Irish music and all forms of live music. And we're torturing poor Amy with Banjoland. We're not going to tell her. We're going to announce it soon. Don't worry. Yes, we are absolute teasers. And we do have some other really exciting stuff coming up later on in the summer as well and into fall. A couple of big projects that are coming up, and we're very, very excited, and we're going to introduce you to them very soon. So that's it for me this evening. Fergal is up on Friday for his Fiddling Fridays, and we'll see you soon. Stay safe, stay well, and thanks for watching.